People just walk into a Louis Vuitton and an Apple store and just loot, 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 and leave like nothing ever happened. It's crazy.
They loot, and not only that, they have like $1,000 or $1,500, where she started, where she won't even prosecute if it's less than $1,500.
Wow.
So you see these people go in with like calculators, and they're adding the stuff that they're stealing because they won't be prosecuted. So that if they get nabbed, they say, no, it's less than whatever it is, $1,000.
Right.
And she started the concept of that, and it's now spreading. Our country, we need strong leadership. We didn't have stuff like this. You know, when you look at what's happened to this country, and you look at other countries, crime rates all over the world are down. You know why? Because they're all dumping their bad people, their prisoners, and all of the people that are bad. They're not only the people on the streets, the people that are in jails. You know what they save by doing that? But they're dumping their prisoners and their criminal elements. They're dumping them into the United States of America. And our crime is going to go through the roof. It's going to go through the roof. And, you know, if we win, and I hope we win, we should win, we seem to be winning. And, you know, you can't even imagine that anybody would want these. This has nothing to do with me. Who would want these people? But can you imagine? They're just getting comfortable now, and they're criminals. So they're sort of laying low a little bit now because they're not comfortable. But soon they'll be comfortable, and they'll find that our police they're great.
Yeah.
But they're not allowed to do their job. They're not
I
allowed
like this
to
little
be
old lady
strong,
in the
and they're
back.
they could do their job if they were let. But if they do their job, they have their pension
I don't know if
knocked
you can see
out.
that.
They have their
Look at
car
her.
taken away, their family taken away, their house taken away. Everything's taken away, and they lose their job. It's a very rough thing being a policeman today, I'll tell you. But they could do the job. We're going to have to let them do their job. We have a crime-infested nation. We're a drug-addicted nation, and we're a crime-infested nation. Other than that, we're doing quite well.
Yeah. I want to move topics a little bit here. You know, I saw, I'm unfamiliar with exactly what it was called. You were speaking on stage with 3 other women, and you just got ambushed. They were late, and not a hi, hello, how are you? Just straight into it, just straight trying to rip you apart. And I think you handled it pretty well, but I wanted to ask you a question, like, why do you think, like, they just straight up do that for you, but then they're going to ask the other side, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
That's right. Well, I did this as a favor. This was the black journalists. The room had maybe 2,000. They said 2,000. It looked more like 1,000 to me, but whatever it was packed.
Yeah.
And I did it because I thought it was a good thing to do. And they had a journalist, I didn't know who she was, but she was nasty. She was a terrible person. And I walk in, and instead of saying, hello, thank you very much for doing this, they also said, Kamala's going to do it. But then Kamala said, she wants to do it because she can't talk to people. She can't answer questions. She hasn't done one interview. You know, she's not doing any interviews.
Yeah.
Because if she did one interview where a hard question's asked, she's incapable of answering it. But I walk in, and this woman starts talking about, she talked about, let's get rid of the elephant in the room. And she starts talking about racism and everything. I said, you didn't even say hello to me. And I'm doing them a favor by doing this. I'm doing this out of respect to the black community. And we're getting record numbers, as you know, in the black community. And she came across, you know, she's with ABC Fake News, which is one of the worst. ABC is one of the worst.
Right.
And she is horrible. So she was very nasty. Harris Faulkner was there. She was excellent. The other person I didn't know, she was okay. I wouldn't say she was great, but she was okay. But I did it, and it was quite a sensation. Actually, a lot of people think it was well handled. The woman was so rude.
So rude.
That, you know, it's hard to believe. You can walk into a thing, and I do them a favor, and I do this. Most people said, why are you doing it? I feel I have an obligation to do it. I want to look you become the president for all of the people, not for a certain segment.
Correct.
Not even for just my, you know, they talk about my base, it's a very big base. But you become president for all of the people. So I feel you have an obligation to do that. Now, she's not doing anything. She's not doing any interviews because I don't believe she's capable. She starts, I don't know, she's strange. The whole thing is strange. Let's put it this way. Our country's in big trouble.
Yeah. I spoke to your son, Don Jr., when I met you in Doral.
Right.
I spoke to Don Jr. a little bit. He said, man, I feel for the young generation. You guys are, look at this. Like, look what's going on here. Like, it's like you need these next 4 years. If not, I don't know how well the country's going to do after these 4 years.
I don't think it survives. I really don't.
Damn.
Look, we're going to have 20 million people in by the time this election takes place. 20 million people. That's bigger than New York State. Many of those people are people that you should not have, and we're all for everything. You know, all men are created equal, as the expression goes. Right?
Of course.
And now today they say all men and women are created equal. When they wrote that, it was a slightly different time. Today, that alone is a politically incorrect statement.
Yeah, it is.
So all men and women are created equal, everything. But the fact is, when you're dumping all of these criminals and all of these drug dealers, all of these people into our country, you're really hurting our country badly. And it has to be, we have to take very strong measures.
We definitely do. We definitely do. Moving to the next. Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know they were allowed to applaud.
They're allowed to applaud. You guys can keep applauding.
All right, that's good. Common sense, right? You know, it is about common sense. I mentioned that term because whether you're conservative, liberal, it's all about common sense.
It is.
You want to have good education. You want to have borders. You want to have low interest rates, be able to buy a house. You want to, so many different things. But you got to have common sense. And we're run by people. And, just a little thing. When I started campaigning almost like 8 years ago, I talked about Merry Christmas. We should have Merry Christmas again. Let's bring back Merry Christmas. You weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas. I got it back.
It's a nice crowd, huh?
Even if you're Jewish, they like to say Merry Christmas. Every one of my Jewish friends say, we love Merry Christmas.
I'm Jewish. I love Merry Christmas,
good.
too.
And, Kamala doesn't, though. Kamala,
she doesn't like it?
She doesn't want you to use Merry Christmas.
Wow.
She thinks it's insulting to use Merry Christmas. So we'll have to work on her.
I wanted to ask you a question. Speaking of, you said something about common sense, someone who has no common sense, Joe Biden. Do you think he was pushed out, or do you think he made the decision to step down?
No, he was not only pushed out, it was a coup. I'm telling you. They went in to see him. He did badly. The debate was a disaster.
It was horrible.
Okay. I don't know if I was brilliant or if he was horrible. Maybe it was a combination of both.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
I know one thing. They were saying after I left, they said, that was one of the greatest debate performances we've ever seen. And then 2 days later, they just said he was terrible.
Right.
They never gave. They
Right.
took away the great debate performance stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I mean, I did fine, and he is. He shouldn't have. Look, he's done tremendous damage to our country. He was a terrible president. He was the worst president we've ever had. She's, by the way, considered the most unpopular vice president we've ever had. But she's she's worse than he is. I actually think he's smarter than her, and I think he's a really not smart person. But I think he's smarter than she is. But she was convenient. She was there. They have better people. I mean, they have much better people. In fact, all of the people that she's looking at are considered much better than her. These were people that were thinking about running. They would have run, except that they didn't want to go through this roadblock with her, and because you're the vice president. So they wanted to go pick them. And I think virtually every one of them is considered better, smarter, would be a better president than her. But we can't allow her to be president. She's going to destroy our country.
She'll ruin it. I mean, already it's ridiculous what she's saying.
And by the way, the youth is so important because youth tends to be Democrat, and as they get older, they become Republican. It's what's happening. We can't wait 50 years. We can't. Make the move now. All of you young people, and he's got a lot of them. All I know is my kids say, Dad, you have no idea how big this interview is. I said, don't tell me that. But make the move now. Don't wait 50 years. Our country doesn't have 50 years.
Damn. That's crazy to think about. I want to ask you a question. She did a rally recently. She had a rapper speak, and then she had a rapper twerk at a rally. Yeah. A rapper was twerking at a rally.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts on that. It's crazy to me to think that there could be twerking at a rally.
Well, what Hillary did is she would go out and get Bruce Springsteen. He'd get much smaller crowds than I got, to be honest. And he had a guitar, right? I don't have a guitar. But he would fill up a place, and then he'd finish, and they'd all leave, and she'd be speaking. So now Kamala's doing the same thing, because nobody wants to go watch her. Nobody.
No.
I mean, she speaks for like a short. Nobody's going to want to watch her, and nobody does want to watch. Now, at least there's a little bit of curiosity, but there's no value really in going and watching her. So what she did is she's gotten a couple of rappers, and they fill up the place. But what she does is a little bit different. She has them go last. That's smart. I give. So in other words.